Hey friends, my name is Sean McCormick and I am back with another episode of the Executive Function Coaching Academy News. And today I'm recording from good old FaceTime on the screen because my camera is not working. And I thought about not doing the news today so I could make it perfect. And then I was like, you know what? My message is take messy action. So I'm going to record this news and put it out there, whether or not it's perfect. I've ordered another camera, so hopefully I'm back up to high quality visuals next week. But this week we're just going to take messy action and enjoy it. So let's jump over to the news. Today's news is about fear. And fear is something we have to go towards. We have to go through. We can't avoid it, which is what I'm living right now. I'm afraid that you won't like this as much because it's different than last week's, but we're just going to do it. So fear is useful to a certain extent. It helps us be safe, right? But when it prevents us from growing, it becomes useless. And so we can override our fear circuitry through some mental tweaks, which I will teach you in this episode. But first, let's dig into what is fear. So fear is a primitive protection mechanism. We developed this ability to be afraid when we lived in the times of caves and having to run up in trees and things we couldn't predict, right? But we've been able to manage life so effectively in the modern world, but we still have these ancient primitive brains that tell us that, when something bad happens, the worst case possible scenario pops up in our mind. And that's actually called automatic negative thoughts, or ANTs. So this is just something that we have in our brains that we have to learn how to live with to effectively manage fear. Okay, so let me jump back over here. Oops, that was my other angle. And I'm going to go into fear is a product of an overactive imagination. We have what's called automatic negative thoughts. And when something bad happens, we typically extrapolate it to the worst possible scenario. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? And 99% of the time, those bad things don't happen. But our overactive imaginations will tell us they will happen. Fear is also a thief. All right? Fear will steal from you your joy. It will steal from you opportunity. So think about that just for a second. Shakespeare said, Fear is our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we often might win by fearing to attempt. Let me say it again. Our doubts, meaning our fears, are traitors. They betray us, making us lose the good things we often might win by fearing to attempt. Now, I saw this quote on the wall at Whole Foods when I was working at Columbus Circle in New York City in college. I saw that and I memorized it. I read it like 5 times every time I would walk by it because it was so powerful to me. I cannot let my doubts consume me or lead me. I have to let my courage, my boldness consume me and lead me. Okay? And that's why I say fear is a thief. It will take from you the good things if you allow it to lead your life. And this is another interesting thing I just discovered. Fear is the number one deathbed regret. So let me see if I pulled this up. So what do people regret when they're on their deathbed? I wish I had had the courage, meaning the opposite of fear, to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. And I've said this in another episode, but oftentimes we make decisions based on what our critics or people that we are scared of their opinions will think. So the quote I used the last time was, even though we survived the struggle that made us, we still perceive ourselves through the eyes of people who hate us. Don't make decisions based on people that aren't even in your life. Don't let them live in your brain rent free, right? I want you to be bold and take action on the things that you want and believe in. All right, so let's jump back over to this lesson today. So what are EF coaches afraid of? Well, let's get into it. So EF coaches, oftentimes I've coached hundreds of coaches, and they might think like, oh, I won't know what to say in a consult meeting with another professional. So I'm just not going to reach out to these neuropsychologists or special education attorneys because what if I say the wrong thing? Or am I really providing value to them? Yes, you are. And I want you to go out there and have those meetings and put yourself in uncomfortable positions. That's the important part. That's how you grow. The fear is where the opportunity for growth is. That's your growth edge. You might be afraid of, how will I fill up a session? 45 minutes will fly by if you allow yourself to show up and engage with a student. But the fear, people don't start coaching sessions because they're like, I'm going to take another course with this certification program or this college or this or that. No, go out there, have those sessions, experience the fear, get through it, enjoy it. All right. And then I can't charge more because people in my community are charging less, or tutors are charging less, or why should I charge more? I mean, people with master's degrees, with double master's degrees are hesitant to charge. You can do it, right? Like a car doesn't cost less in Montana You know, the same Jeep or a brand new Jeep doesn't cost less in Montana than it does in California. So why should your coaching services cost less, right? Charge for the value you deliver, not comparing yourself to other people. Okay, now if you want to get started with this, I have 3 tools that will help you get started. First, the Coaching Niche Toolkit. So this is a very simple course. It's an $11 course that will teach you how to run a coaching session, how to determine your niche, how to set your rates with confidence by figuring out what you need, not what you think you should charge, how to build a contract, or you can use this contract I have in there, and how to find clients. So that's $11, and hopefully the return on investment will be 1,000-fold for you. Because if you really do this work, you can make a lot of money doing it. And this will help you get started if you're feeling a little stuck. There's also the 90-day paid client plan, paid client plan. And this is in the EFCA Pro community. So if you click on the About page, you can join monthly or annually. And then when you go in here, this 90-day paid client plan will tell you exactly what you need to do for the next 90 days so that you can have a paid client by the end of it, guaranteed, or you can stay in the community at no cost. And then the certification course. This is for anybody who's really serious about becoming an executive function coach. Check out this course. This will walk you through everything you need to know about starting your coaching practice, working with students, how to get clients, all that good stuff, how to run sessions, how to work with families. All that is in here. And you can join hundreds of other people who have done this course and are successfully running their own coaching practices. So all that is available for you depending on what you want help with. Okay, now what are the consequences of letting fear guide you? Well, one, you say things like, oh, I'll just stay in the same job. You don't have to keep working a job that you hate. You can slowly transition out of it by building a side practice until it replaces 60% of your income, at which point you know it's moving in that direction and you can switch jobs. Second, you say things like, maybe one day it will get better. It doesn't get better unless you make changes, unless you take action. So your life is generally going to be the same unless you change your inputs. Change inputs like the books you're reading, the people you're surrounding yourself with, the videos you're watching, right? If you change your inputs, your outputs will change, right? Now, the other thing that people say is, I guess I'm okay where I'm at. Sometimes we lie to ourselves. We've got to be rigorously honest to really grow. And we can't just tell ourselves, I'm happy when you're not. And here's permission for you to feel ungrateful. If you're not grateful for something you're experiencing in your life, don't just try to override that and be like, yeah, I'm grateful for everything. If you're not feeling grateful, it's because maybe something in your life is off. And we need to make some tweaks and changes so you can feel happy and in alignment. All right, so listen to your body, listen to your mind, and then go towards those things which you feel afraid of. Okay, let's share a couple wins. Okay, first off, huge win. Kara landed her first client at $125 per session. She breaks down the entire story of how going from being a school psychologist to starting her own executive function coaching practice. She did this in less than a year. She did a fantastic job, and I just know her practice is going to grow very quickly. So if you want to know how Kara got her first client at over $100 an hour, $125 an hour, you can look at her detailed story. So thank you so much, Kara, for sharing your story. I really appreciate it. I love how detailed she is and how she broke down this process. I know this is going to inspire a lot of other people to see her journey. So well done, Kara. You rock. If I could throw some claps on the screen right now or some emojis, I would do that. I love to see Laurie working through the 90-day paid client course. She's doing a fantastic job taking the daily actions. She's going to get the results. The best time to plant a tree is yesterday. The second best time is today. So whatever you want to do, start planting those seeds today. So love to see that. And just the community engagement, people supporting her. I'm appreciating that so much as well. And then we've got some other ones. Tula, I love Tula, the feedback that you're giving around how you watched the last EFCA news and you're journaling out about this, noticing the wins and the gains. Fantastic work. Keep that up. So good to see. And then Ella, I love to see that you took something that you learned. So we were talking about this follow-up email. So when you reach out to neuropsychologists, you can follow up and you can send this little follow-up question mark. Did you get this email to people who don't respond? You did it. And look at the results. Both of the people she reached out to got back to her. So well done, Ella. I'm so happy to see you getting results and taking action. Okay, now let's talk about bypassing fear. I added some ones there, but how do you bypass fear? So here are my top tips for how to bypass fear. So number one, dispel it with a phrase. If you're starting to get in that anxious mode, oh, what if this happens? You kind of feel that anxious, automatic negative thoughts energy, bypass it with a phrase. So one that's worked for me is saying something like this. How does it go? That's show business, baby. You just flip your mind into a silly, fun place. Anxiety can't live in a mind where you're saying things like, that's show business, baby. If you're a religious person, you could tap into your faith, right? Like, hey, I trust this process, right? So find a phrase that will help you bypass that anxiety that kind of just creeps in and gets all negative. Okay. I had to take Latin in college. I went to City College of New York and I was a scholar. I got a scholarship and it required me to take 2 years of Latin, which was great. And I learned a phrase in this experience, which really inspired me. Audentis fortuna juvat. And this means fortune rewards the audacious or the bold. So be audacious. Audacious, the root of that word is audible. Put yourself out there. Be audible about your journey and your vision. Fortune rewards the audible, the audacious, the bold. So put yourself out into the universe. Okay, next one. Liberating beliefs are more powerful than limiting beliefs. Okay, so if you have limiting beliefs, download this free template from the EFCA download. So if you go to the EFCA website, let me find an example of this for you here. There's in the Learn download section, there's this free limiting beliefs worksheet, and download this and then overcome those limiting beliefs by, for example, talking back to them. So, hey, I can't charge more than I'm already charging. People pay for transformation. Clients are more engaged when they pay more typically. Pricing isn't about what I think people can afford. Just position yourself to the right audience. Like talk back to these negative beliefs. Create liberating beliefs you can live with, not limiting beliefs that hold you back. Because limiting beliefs are the lies we tell ourselves to hold ourselves within our fear. So let's get into those liberated place, that courageous place. Okay, this one, faith over fear. Let me explain this to you. So you may not think you're a person of faith, but you are. And here's why. Do you drive down the road? When you drive down the road, the only thing dividing you between the traffic is a yellow line. Someone could swerve into you at any moment, but they don't, because we live in a world where we understand that we trust other people and we have to operate under these social agreements, right? We have faith that they work. So faith can operate while you're driving, and it can also operate while you're putting yourself out there, introducing yourself to other professionals. So have faith that if you follow the steps, it will work. And I promise you, it will. Okay, next one, model authenticity. So if you are feeling afraid, you can model authenticity by setting your expectations, setting your boundaries, sharing your terms of service, sharing your message. When you do this, you're modeling authenticity. You're allowing other people to make decisions. So when you say, hey, my rate is $200 a session, yes, you might be scared that they're going to be like, oh my God, you're so expensive. But you're modeling authenticity about what you want. Then if they respond, well, that's expensive, but I'm not sure. You can say, well, what's holding you back? Why did you come here? What made you want coaching, right? Now, 99% of the time when people set the rate they actually want, they think that people are going to give them negative feedback and they don't, right? You create these barriers in your mind because that's what the brain does. Remember, it's primitive. It wants to protect you. So it tries to keep you safe, but it's actually not keeping you safe if it's taking you away from the thing that would make this career fulfilling, right? Because as a coach, you're your own administrator, you're your own marketer, you're all these different jobs. You got to pay for your healthcare. So you need to set your rates in a way that will allow you to build a sustainable practice. Okay, here's another conceptual shift. No fear, no courage. The only way to be courageous is to have fear and then replace that fear with courage. So when the fear comes in, take the courageous action, right? But just remember, you need fear to be courageous. So if you want to be courageous, which I know you are, that's why you're here, then you need that fear. So appreciate it. Go through it. Don't run from it. Okay? And that goes to get through it, go through it. Just remember, you got to go through it. Do the hard thing and just get the results. The people who do the hard thing get the results, right? You can be one of those people. You just got to do the hard thing. It's like jumping in the pool. It's like getting in the ice bath, whatever it is. Do the hard thing. You can do it. What's stopping you? Do something hard today. Do something hard. Meditate for 5 minutes, right? Eat a salad. Do the thing that isn't always easy, but has benefits. Trust the process. All right, another one. Tiniest possible action. If you got to do something big, start with the tiniest possible action. Like I wanted to record this video. I knew this was going to take a while. The tiniest possible action was starting to make the outline. Then it was recording. And then I recorded this video 2 times. And there was errors in it and I had to restart. This is the 3rd time I'm recording this video. But You start with the smallest possible action, and then it steamrolls, or not steamrolls, but it dominoes into the next possible step. Go back and watch my other video on the domino effect in this series, and it'll unlock that for you. All right. And then done is better than perfect. Look, we don't have to be perfect. We just have to keep moving forward, right? You don't have to like go to the gym every day, but maybe take a walk every day. Do something small, right? Done is better than perfect. Something is better than nothing, right? Perfection is the enemy of progress. All right. So those are my top tips for bypassing fear. Here are some final thoughts. The most difficult decision is to act. The rest is merely tenacity. The fears are paper tigers. You can do anything you decide to do. You can act to change and control your life. And the process is its own reward. That was the Queen, Amelia Earhart. Man, she inspires me. I got a little story I read to my daughters about how she came to the White House with Eleanor Roosevelt and took her on a night flight over Washington, D.C. But this is someone who was, man, talk about bold. I mean, she flew across the Atlantic Ocean, through storms. This was someone who, I don't even know if it had been done, or maybe it was a woman hadn't done it before, but she did it. She faced her fear and enjoyed it. And that's where you just got to it's got to become fun to you, right? Final thought number 2. Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we often might win by fearing to attempt. Take your shot. Take your shot. Don't be afraid to take your shot. It's like Michael Jordan, like every shot I didn't take is a shot I missed. Or maybe Wayne Gretzky said that, or the guy in The Office. I'm not sure who said it, but you can do this. Okay, so we have got our plan there. This is the big picture, is fear. You got to go through it. You can't escape it. You got to just go through it. So I hope this video was helpful in terms of changing your concept about fear. That was my goal with this video, is to change your conceptual understanding of fear. And by doing this, you can change your life, right? You can actually start to enjoy and do the things that feel scary rather than avoid them. Please drop a comment below sharing what was helpful to you. Watch the other videos in this series. It's going to pump you up, help you be a better executive function coach, help you build your practice. And if you have any questions or wonders or need help, drop a comment below. I'll help everybody. All right. See you soon.